Hey all, and welcome to this week's episode of the Mike Muldoon Podcast. Excited. I'm actually coming up on almost 2 years of when I started this podcast, which happened to be on my birthday, and my birthday is coming up, so it's pretty close. And I'm excited. Every weekend, promise to be here, promise to deliver an episode, and I have managed to continue on with that through everything: international travels, international moves, work, everything. But it's exciting because I it's like anything. When you enjoy what you do, you're going to find time to do it, So that's why I get to this podcast, because I really enjoy doing it. So I'm going to be 50. Yes, that's where I'm coming up on. And it's funny because, everybody always says as you get older, right? Oh yeah. As soon as I turned 50, everything started hurting. And I'm one of those people. I mean, the minute I turned 40, everything started hurting. And it's funny because I got all these pains. But the one thing that I've come to realize a lot of times is pains aren't always from the physical. And that's something I think that confuses a lot of people. See, what happens is we're so hardwired to believe that pain is a physical sensation, typically that arises from an injury or an illness. However, there's been recent research, and I'm a real big believer in this, and a lot of holistic perspectives as well on this, that reveal that emotional pain can manifest as a physical discomfort, which really just blurs the lines in between our mind and our body. And it's known as psychosomatic pain. And it's this phenomenon that really underscores the profound impact of emotional distress on our physical health. My wife is a big fan of Louise Hayes. And if you've never read her or know anything about it, you really should. She's got this great book. She talks about all these different areas of where you have pain and what it probably is from. She's a real pioneer in this mind-body healing, and she really emphasized this connection in her book. And it really suggests that specific emotional states are linked to certain physical ailments. All right, let me say it again. Specific emotional states are linked to certain physical ailments, which really is providing further insight into how our emotional healing is really the way forward to lead us to physical recovery. Now, in case you've been living off the grid or just somewhere where you don't have access to books or knowledge or anything, it's been pretty well documented and proven that the body and the mind are deeply connected. I mean, this is something we kind of learn early in our lives, probably one of our first biology classes that you take. But basically, when we experience emotional stress, the brain releases chemicals such as cortisol and adrenaline, which triggers a physical response in the body. Now, for some people like myself who suffered from anxiety or panic attacks, this is exactly what it does, right? Because it puts your body in the system of a fight or flight, right? So I feel distress, I feel anxiety, something comes on, boom, the body goes into action. But over time, these stress hormones can lead to changes in the body's systems, contributing to pain and other physical symptoms. So there was a study that was published in the Journal of Psychosomatic Research that basically revealed that individuals with high levels of emotional distress, such as anxiety, depression, unresolved grief, or traumas in the past, were more likely to report chronic physical pain, including headaches and back pain, even without any clear medical explanation as to why. See, this indicates that emotional pain can feel just as real and as debilitating as pain caused by physical trauma. So like I was talking about earlier about Louise Hayes, right? In her book, her research really aligns with this, because she asserts that those physical ailments are often a result of unprocessed emotion. So for example, she suggests that like lower back pain, right? Lower back pain may stem from financial worries or lack of support, while chronic headaches could indicate self-criticism or fear. Her approach really empowers individuals to explore the emotional roots of their physical symptoms, promoting healing through self-awareness and emotional release. Basically saying, if you fix the emotions, the physical will fix itself. So because especially somebody who's may have suffered trauma in the past, like unresolved emotional trauma can have long, lasting effects on the body. In this book written by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, his book was called, what was it? It's the Body That Keeps Score. Yes, The Body That Keeps Score. He basically discusses how traumatic experiences, particularly emotional or physical abuse, get stored in the body and then eventually lead to chronic pain and conditions. So trauma survivors frequently report conditions like fibromyalgia or chronic muscle tension where no physical cause is readily apparent. In his book, his research really highlights that the importance of treating the emotional wounds is what you need to do to alleviate the physical suffering, as that trauma can lodge itself in the body, right? Keeping score and manifest as an ongoing discomfort. Again, similarly, what Louise Hay's approach, says the same thing, suggesting that physical ailments are the body's way of signaling, hey, you have an unresolved emotional issues. Now, again, you bang your knee on the table, that's going to hurt. I'm not saying all of a sudden you have a problem with, standing up for yourself. That's a physical pain. But I'm talking about these pains that appear in us for no real reason as well, can really be tied more to an emotional. Fix the emotional, solve the physical. So again, for instance, with her, again, she's, when she's talking about chronic pain, like in the neck, it could be related to inflexibility in one's thinking or a refusal to see different perspectives. Maybe you're just stuck in your own ways. Again, her teachings really encourage this holistic healing approach combined with physical treatment with more of the emotional exploration of things, right? So the key here is really to start understanding these pains that you might be having over 40 or when you got to 50 really might not be so much physical, especially when you didn't do anything. Why does this suddenly, I got all this pain in my shoulder, but I didn't do anything? Might be emotional. So we really want to start looking at how we address the psychosomatic pain. And it's really essential that we treat the emotional cause underlying these physical symptoms. So like things like CBT, right? Cognitive behavioral therapy has really shown to help individuals manage emotional stress and then in turn reduce physical pain, right? Get rid of the emotional stress, reduce the physical pain. Additionally, people who maybe practice mindfulness, again, meditation. Well, what does meditation do? It lowers the body's stress response. And when you do that, when you lower the body's stress response, what does it do? It alleviates physical symptoms. It also helps with anxiety or other sort of things that you're dealing with at that point, which again lowers the body's systems from acting out of whack and then causing long-term pain in your body. Again, going back to Louise Hay's, because like I said, I've been hearing about her, reading about it for years. Again, affirmations, talked about this one before in the past, positive statements about yourself. Really, it just becomes shifting mental and emotional patterns. Let me sidetrack here for a second. A lot of people get on this, they want to build a vision board, right? Or they have these affirmations, they have that. It's not so much that the vision board is going to bring you what you want or the affirmation. What happens is it is a shift in your emotional patterns. It is a shift in your thinking. It takes you out of from maybe a very negative place into a positive. When you have positive emotions, you have positive actions, which leads to positive results, which helps you achieve things that you're looking for. There's a great podcast I did about a year ago, maybe on this one, called, The Tears, where all your thoughts, hey, it's amazing, it's wonderful, it's a great day, my emotions are excitable, and that's going to mean I'm going to be more actionable, and then my results are going to be better. So you should go back and listen to that one. It's all about the tears we have. But again, so if you need to try to start somewhere, just start there. But you want to start having more of a mental shift. You want to shift your emotional patterns so that you're being more positive, right? So like, for instance, you might say something like, I trust the process in life. Instead of stressing out every day, trying to control everything. And by the way, this is me. I have realized something about myself. This might make you laugh a little bit. I always fancied myself like Tristan in Legends of the Fall. Like, I've got all these demons, and I'm just like, I'm just a lone rider here, and I was that guy. And I've come to realize as I've gotten older, even going back to the Tristan thing, let me back up here for a second. Like, I just go with life. It just whatever it brings at me, even if it's a bear. And I've realized now I'm not. I'm Clark Griswold, and I just want to hang Christmas lights, and I kind of want a list. Like, I want to know what's coming here, I kind of want to know that, but that's sometimes not a good thing, because if you're not willing to just trust the process, sometimes you can stress yourself out if things aren't working out the way you want it to be. So I personally have to now just trust more like things are going to work out. I'm a little bit quicker to dive into things and believe if I keep doing the right things will work out. So that's lowered my stress a little bit, including making this international move. So the thing is, again, just to repeat here, just by focusing on emotional healing, individuals can experience relief from both, emotional suffering and the physical pain it's often creating. Again, getting back to Hayes' holistic approach, he's really, again, just combining the psychological therapy with a comprehensive pathway to healing the mind and the body, all right? Because again, emotional pain is not just confined to the mind. It can have a real, tangible effect on the body, all right? So let's make sure that, maybe you weren't aware of this. Maybe you're just someone who's like, oh, I just assumed I must have tweaked my arm that day or whatever it is, or my back just went out of whack, or I'm just getting old. No, let's start changing our perspective. Let's start looking at our pain sometimes from the emotional, because treating the emotional distresses, we can go ahead and start, find relief from chronic physical discomfort, proving that, the mental and the physical health, they're inseparably linked. All right. So if you're somebody out there right now and you're like, man, got a lot of pain, a lot of things going on, maybe see what's going on in your life. Maybe see how you're thinking lately. See what you've been up to. What's stressing you out? Did you start a new job? Did you start a new relationship? Did something happen in your life? Maybe you lost somebody, or maybe you gained somebody and they're not good to have in your life. Whatever it is, but start paying attention to the emotion, because you might just realize that when you fix the emotional, the physical goes bye-bye. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this week on the Mike Will Do podcast. Of course, I always appreciate you being here, staying with me, listening. As always, please share it with your family, your friends. Hopefully you're getting something from it. Like I said, I've been seeing a little bit of uptick on listenership, or maybe that's just Apple finally going, man, maybe people should be listening to this guy. Like I said, I keep it short, I keep it sweet. My whole thing always is just about, you know what? Someone's got to get in a car, they got a 10-minute commute to work, they get this whole thing in, maybe it sets their day up. All right, other than that, have a great weekend. And as always, I got nothing but love for you.